Hello all, this is Halloween and today we're headed over to Clearwater again and we're going to visit the Sylvan Abbey Memorial Park Cemetery. I noticed it the other day when I was going over to Whispering Souls Cemetery, and as I was turning to go left to go to Whispering Souls, it was up on the right hand side. So I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to go visit this cemetery. So we're going there today. So excited. I'll see you there. We're here at Nona's Slice in Safety Harbor. Gonna get a bite to eat. We're here at Sylvan Abbey Memorial Park in Clearwater. We ate in Safety Harbor and we're here in Clearwater at the Sylvan Abbey Memorial Park. Established in 1853, it has about 18,352 burials and on several acres of land, and despite its beauty and upkeep, maintenance, and all of that we're going to see today, I was very surprised to learn that it was such an old cemetery, and there are a lot of notable people buried here, so let's go in and see what we can see. Just coming into the grounds at first glance, this is going to be one of my favorites probably. I've seen a lot of pictures online of this cemetery, but just the way that it's all canopied in, it's so shaded, the grass is lush and green, and there are a gazillion shade trees in the area, just so beautifully shading the property. It's a gorgeous day here in Clearwater, and there's a lot of cool things to see here, so I'm excited. Just wanted to record this part. It is so beautiful here. I've noticed too that a lot of plots have been purchased here, but no one's buried in the plots yet, so there are a lot that are spoken for because there's a lot of uninscribed tombs and mausoleums, niches. That was pretty interesting. Beverly Hyatt. Wonder if she's any relation to the Hyatt Hotel. Oh look, an open area for anyone interested. It's gorgeous here. I could spend a whole day here for sure. Just beautiful. A couple open spaces here right next to the fountain. I'm sure they're pricey. And here's the beautiful fountain. It's very peaceful here, very lush, very green, very shaded. Beautiful. So I was wondering why in the world anybody would have Hungry Howie's pizza emblem on their tombstone or monument. The reason is because this is the burial of Jim Hearn. He's the founder of Hungry Howie's Pizza, and Hungry Howie's got started right here in Dunedin. How cool is that? I'm among a celebrity here. Hungry Howie's Pizza was founded in 1973 and now today has over 550 locations. This is amazing. Nice to meet you, Mr. Hearn. I love your pizza, especially the thin crust. I'm gonna clean up where some people left some emptied beers here. That was a lucky find because he's not even mentioned in famous people that are buried here, and even though maybe he's not internationally known, he's famous to me. I mean, they have great pizza at Hungry Howie's, so I've been enjoying that for many years. So that was really cool. Just kind of going through the cemetery now. I've got a few more people that I want to find and see some cool things along the way. Oh, and I think Mr. Hearn really liked dogs. Just speculation, but his final resting place is covered in dog sculptures and dog statues and things like that. So he must have really been a big fan of dogs. We are at the final resting place of Tom Cheek, the voice of the Blue Jays. He was a sports announcer and had a long and very successful career in sports. He had announced baseball, basketball. One of the highest points of his career came in Game 6 of the 1993 World Series when describing Joe Carter's home run. He bellowed the words, "Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run again in your life." Unfortunately, Tom Cheek succumbed to cancer at age 66. It was actually initially a brain tumor that he had had surgically removed, and when it came back as cancer, and he succumbed to the cancer at age 66 in 2005. So that's him, the voice of the Blue Jays. Another notable burial here at the Sylvan Abbey Memorial Park. They have several very beautiful niches here. This one's in the far right-hand corner. We're gonna go in and take a look. They're very large and they're gorgeous. How beautiful. Very pretty, very reminiscent of a lot of the Dignity Memorial Parks we've seen. Could very possibly be a Dignity, and I think it might actually be, because the funeral home's right across the street, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe it did say Dignity Memorial on there. But their cemeteries are just beautiful. Look at all of these. It said there was 18,352 burials here. I think that's an old number, because from what I'm seeing, definitely looks like more. Oh, look how pretty. Oh, some of the stones have come out, but they did a whole mosaic style mural here. The sunshine. Wow. That's so beautiful. Breathtaking. They really did a great job with this. I knew this was going to be one of my favorites instantly when I walked in. And I could actually see this one across the street when I was going to the Whispering Souls Cemetery. And I was like, man, I gotta check that out, because it looked beautiful. In the far right-hand corner, where you see this gorgeous statue or statues, is where you're going to find the burials of all the babies that have passed on, which is always very hard to see. There's a bunch here who have passed away. One just recently here, looks like, with fresh flowers. So that is where they keep all the babies. I've got a few more I would like to find. We'll see what happens. I'm getting lucky so far. If you're interested in wanting to know where a certain person is buried, sometimes Find a Grave is useful, because people that have come to the cemeteries to look for certain people have posted pictures of the graves on findagrave.com. And you can at least kind of tell by the surroundings about where that person might be buried. At least get a clue. Sometimes it's not very helpful. Like when I was looking for Dr. Pallbearer, it was no help at all. But it's one tool you could use to find specific people if you are looking for them. There are so many niches here. I don't know if you'd be able to see them all in a single day. They're everywhere. There's small ones, there's big ones, there's, you know, it's wild. It's really cool. This is a great cemetery. If you just want to come, even just to get some exercise, it's super scenic with the little ponds that they have, and I think there's 2 ponds with fountains in them. Gorgeous tombstones, mausoleums, just beautiful statues. It's a real treat to be here today. And I really just, even the plants are gorgeous. Like, look at this beautiful plant. Like, really? What? This is crazy. So cool. Beautiful. All right. I'm approaching this niche. Now I'm going to introduce you to another notorious person, if I can find him. I found him. So exciting. Angelo Dundee. He was a Hall of Fame professional boxing figure. He helped with the careers of Cassius Clay, also known as Muhammad Ali, even Sugar Ray Leonard, George Foreman. He started out in his career as a bucket boy in the corner of the rink, and gradually worked his way up to being a coach, trained under some of the best. They ended up making him a coach eventually, and that's where he shaped the careers of these very well-known boxers. So he was quite the figure, and here he is, right here in our very own Clearwater, Sylvan Abbey Memorial Park. Lived a pretty long life. Died of a heart attack in 2012. There's one other story I wanted to tell you about here, and there's a few other notable burials here, but they're going to be a lot harder to find. But these were in a place where they could be found a lot easier. If you'd notice, Tom Cheek was right next to the lake, so all I had to do was walk around both of the lakes and I found him. This niche looks different than any other niche on the premises. and it's in the far left-hand corner if you want to come say hi to Mr. Dundee. So it was easy to find them because they had, in the photographs that are online of their resting place was just an easier location to find because of what was surrounding it. So that's why I was able to find them so easy. There is an urban legend that surrounds this cemetery, and it is the story of a rundown shack here on the premises. It's said to be behind some thick foliage somewhere near the Garden of Reflections area of the cemetery. Now, all the cemetery is portioned off into gardens. Garden of this, garden of that. So somewhere near the Garden of Reflections, there's an old rundown shack beneath some thick foliage and brush. And it has been said that there was a man who lived with his family at one point. This was probably the early 1800s, or, you know, somewhere during that time. He lived in this shack with his wife and his son. And supposedly, he went crazy one day and killed his wife and son with a pitchfork. And it is said because of that, that the premises is now, or that area at least, is haunted by the spirits of these people. There was one occurrence that took place here where a man went looking for this rundown shack. And he said he looked for hours before finally stumbling upon it. And it was literally, he was about to leave and give up his search when a piece of his clothing brushed a building, or his arm brushed the building, and he decided he was going to go in. Upon entry, he heard voices of a woman, like whispering voices of a woman, and he also heard a very angry man, he says. When he turned around and decided it maybe wasn't a good idea that he be there, he saw several faces appear before him, and he got a really severe splitting headache. And then obviously he left and never returned, but by his accounts, he says never to go there if you want to leave with your life. So, but anyway, that is not the shack. I looked inside. That's there was a rat in there, but it's got like a water softener or something in there, what looks like a water softener, and that's about it. Some tools and stuff like that for the groundskeepers, I'm sure. But that's that story. Looks like we're going to be heading out pretty soon. I have a ghost tour tonight, but I have to say that this was one of my favorites so far. A lot of, obviously, older burials here, established in 1853, so if you want to come and see a lot of really unique headstones and monuments, statues, whatever you're into, there's a big one right there. It has a little bit of everything, and it's beautiful. So even if you just wanted to come out and take a stroll and get some exercise, it's a great place to do that because there's plenty to see. Thank you so much for joining me again today. If you are loving these videos, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Any way you can help me out is much appreciated. And if you love what I'm doing here and you have a cemetery you'd like for me to visit, please comment down below which one you think I should check out next. I'd love to get some of your input. That does it for today's episode. I'll see you next time.